Salutations from Garrett Public Library for this week's installment of Railroader Reading. My first name is Neal and middle name is Patrick, so I'm set for life on Kiss Me, I'm Irish. Come every March. I will be reading from the book Vanishing America by comedian Rich Hall, his own account of meeting people and their stories while traveling the country, albeit dubious. How to leave. It isn't that hard to walk out. I'm stepping out for a pack of cigarettes, I say, and you know I'm leaving because I don't smoke. Nope, it's not that hard, especially because I'm a young urban failure, because all my friends have married, moved on, keep promising to have me over for dinner sometime, because I've been staring at the same apartment walls for 11 years, the plumbing stain, the Desideratum poster. It's not that hard. I've just got around to reading Rabbit Run. I say, I'm stepping out for a pack of cigarettes, and I leave. It's easy, especially since there's no one there to hear me. The shopping center. I grew up in the shadows of a shopping center. It was my domain, my backyard, my battlefield, my commissary, my library, a place to prowl and daydream, and squander whole chunks of my wonder years. At least twice a week, I conducted free sample runs there. The tour began with a single butterscotch candy from the Brock's bin at Woolworth's. This was followed by an imported cracker and smudge of Danish cheese ball from Hickory Farms. Bressler's ice cream offered a smidgen of any of their 31 flavors. At the nutrition store, there were soy sticks, store-made peanut butter, and discs of vitamin C, at least as tasty as children's aspirin. I knew there was a fine line between sampling and filching, and I was careful not to cross it. Appetite sated, I would stop by the Safeway and pick up a fistful of Greyhound racing forms, no purchase necessary, mentally noting my picks for all 8 races, which were broadcast on TV each Saturday night at 6. My last stop would be the hardware store, where I would claim a wooden yardstick. Once outside, it made a terrific sword. The shopping center was called Magnolia Acres. It was L-shaped with an awninged sidewalk and fanned out to a herringbone parking lot. It is still there today, but Hickory Farms is now the croissant corner. Bressler's, now called Jerome's, forces you to watch your ice cream being made in the storefront window. And Craddock's Hardware was sold to a pair of brothers named Stuart and Josh Lingerfelt, who quickly installed $12,000 worth of butcher block display tables, renamed it the Provisory, and featured only the best tools and urban implements. The Lingerfelt brothers previously sold log cabins in Vermont. Magnolia Acres, 3 magnolias, 7 acres, is in an older, revitalized section of town, which, depending on the place's rated almanac you consult, is the 2nd, 4th, or 16th most livable city in America. The town has good schools and roads. It has a moderate climate. It has a few small problems, of course. The rising number of homeless people, for instance, and a rapidly lowering water table. But all in all, it's a nice little standard metropolitan statistical area. The shopping center is where I head right after I walk out. It's way across town. I haven't been there in years. I go into Gaunt's newsstand. Amazingly, it has changed very little. There's a new magazine section titled Coffee Table Magazines. Other than that, it's pretty much as I remember. Old Gaunt's still sits on a platform, gumming a Roytan, timing browsers. Lookin' or buyin', he drones every 15 seconds. Give me a pack of cigarettes, I say. You don't smoke, he says, even though he hasn't seen me in 17 years. I just walked out on myself. I'm pretty tense. What brand? I don't know. What brand did Rabbit Angstrom smoke? I am just testing him. It was never specified in the novel. Chesterfields. Fine. He throws me a pack of Chesterfields, snaps $1 from my fingers. I grab some complimentary matches, glance at the cover. It shows an ad for return address labels. I walk back out to where my sad Corolla is parked. I light up a Chesterfield and inhale. The world starts spinning in a different direction. There's a car parked in front of the Corolla, a pitted 1963 Buick gunboat. The car belongs to a man named Ahmed. Ahmed is from Ankara, Turkey. All the possessions he owns in the New World sit in a bundle in the back seat of the Buick. Ahmed has just conducted his own free sample run. Among the items he has collected is a coat hanger from the dry cleaners, which now offers something called French hand laundry and expert flat work. He is standing beside the gunboat, trying to figure out how to attach the hanger to where an antenna used to be. You might say, since arriving in America, Ahmed has not been getting great reception. I climb into my own car, reeling from the tobacco. While I'm maneuvering away from the curb, I bump the rear of Ahmed's Buick. The Buick pitches forward several feet. Ahmed turns and observes me curiously. He remembers something someone had told him before departing for the United States. In America, if someone hits you from behind, it is automatically their fault. Ahmed falls to the ground and begins writhing in pain, screaming, "Whiplash!" Later, he will decide his foot has been run over. When the police arrive, I try to explain that the man could not possibly have whiplash. He had not even been inside the car. "So you're saying you hit him?" a cop asks. I hit the car. From behind? Well, yes. Then it's automatically your fault. An ambulance pulls up and takes Ahmed to the hospital, where he will enjoy 3 hot meals daily and remote control television. This represents one less displaced person. The police file their report and leave. Already, legislative wheels are in motion. By Monday afternoon, the State Insurance Commission will have revoked my policy. I start up my car. A thin geyser of green fluid spews from the radiator and begins its long seepage into the city's declining water table. This is around 6 p.m. The only tow truck operator open on a Saturday afternoon is Mashburn's Shell, 22 miles away. The owner, Clinton Mashburn, makes the trip himself. Clinton's route takes him past the brand new Mountain Laurel Mineral Springs Waterworks, which at this moment is celebrating its grand opening. A hand-carved sign shows a mountain stream gurgling through a cluster of alpine laurel. The mountain spring water has never seen a hint of mountain. It is tapped from a local aquifer 3 blocks away. Clinton remembers when the place had been the home of a bear who specialized in wheel alignments. The Shell station is from a bygone era. There is no glass booth, and you don't have to sound like you're placing a bet. $5 on number 3, please, when buying your gas. It is a full-service facility. Clinton Mashburn sets my Toyota down among some other to-be-repaired autos. He goes inside to get a work form. I stroll idly among the cars. One catches my eye, a 1955 Chevy, a 2-door coupe. I smile. My first car had been a 55 Chevy. Even rusted out, this car looks solid, low, and vicious. I run a hand over the Canon-esque quarter panel, lean against the door, which is like a beefy shoulder. It rounds up toward thick LOF safety glass. The slightest overhang of a fender above headlight gives the car its distinctive eyebrows. And the trademark taillights are like, well, ruby insets. I remember the miles of pleasure behind the steering wheel of my own 55. Remember the feel of that wheel, small and thick, a tensed conduit to all the muscle lurking just beyond the firewall. A strange sense of fondness washes over me. I feel connected to this car. And when I peer inside, I realize this is my car. I recognize it from small details: the tear in the headliner, the surfer foot, the bottle caps for dials. I remember the day the car broke down. It happened in a Greek neighborhood. There was a bronc, and the car just stopped. Like stunned big game, I climbed out to see 265 CUs of engine lying underneath the car. Residents drifted from their porches, mutely eyeing me from a distance, whispering among themselves. No one could offer assistance, except perhaps the use of a phone. And when Clinton arrived with a winch, we solemnly watched the engine lowered onto his truck bed, like a child's casket. I didn't even accompany the car to the Shell station. I knew I would never be able to afford the repair, so I stood and watched the car disappear. A failure of heft and promise. Instantly, I was a pariah. In suburban high school, without a car, you were nothing. I thought that was you when I picked you up, Clinton says, but he didn't say anything. We were standing beside the Chevy. Greek neighborhood, wasn't it? Yeah. You had a broken motor mount. He makes a yeah big sign with his fingers indicating a piece of hardware about 3 inches wide. Cost $3.75. $3.75 plus $6 labor. I quit trying to call you around 1977. I pull away in the 55, feeling alive. There is no padding inside the car, and the engine is deafening. The sound insulates. There is just me and the Chevy, with that fine leftover platformate coursing through its veins. At exactly 7 p.m., the founder of Mountain Laurel Waterworks issues a toast. Then his staff sets about bottling an initial 5,000 gallons of Mountain Spring mineral water. He opens a gate valve that draws directly from the town's aquifer. The enormous demand causes an area of ground about 90 yards in circumference to cave inward. This is called a sinkhole. The sinkhole is directly beneath a brand new luxury condominium at 34 Irby Street. The condo is being constructed with 1x3s and Kleenex strength insulation. The condominium, 34 soon-to-be occupied units, is sucked into the earth, vanished. I round the corner of Irby Street and see the last portion of the condo poking out of the ground. I just keep going. The Bear. I drive all night. The road begins to change, rising in elevation, becoming narrow and sinewy. In the dark, I can make out the distant shapes of barns and satellite dishes, often side by side. By sunup, my eyes are dry and achy. I need some easy roadway. In America, you're never far from the interstate, and I find it soon enough, easing down the entrance ramp. Instantly, I become truck sandwich filling. The one ahead has Yosemite Sam mudflaps. Sam's guns are drawn. Back off, he snarls. But I can't. The semi behind will eat me. Then the Chevy starts to act strangely. The front wheels buck and wobble like a manic shopping cart. The steering wheel fights my grip. The car seems to be in a fit. I pull off at the next ramp, turn into a 2-lane. Just like that, the conniptions stop. I stop and climb out and walk around, examining the car with that kind of hopeful desperation that whatever's wrong is so slap your head silly that even a moron could fix it. I can't think of anything to do but kick a tire. When I look up, there's a bear standing across from me. I recognize him immediately as a wheel alignment bear. Wheel alignment bears have yellow fur and a permanent, winsome grin. Not only do they fish and forage, they can calibrate, set toe and camber, and read a parts catalog. It's good to see they're still around. The bear seems to be gesturing affably toward the underside of the Chevy. I drop to the pavement, peer underneath. I see then that the car has a short hop suspension. A short hop history. The short hop suspension was a package option available on certain cars in the mid-50s. It was designed for short, pleasurable jaunts into the country, to the next town, or for stepping out for a pack of smokes. It was made for back roads and small towns. The official testing ground for the short hop suspension was a Dairy Queen parking lot in Michigan. Like Platform It, which increased a car's mileage tenfold and spawned the paper barrier run craze among teens, the short hop suspension was a doomed marvel of engineering. It disappeared around the time this slogan came out. Watch out for the other guy. Before that, people tooled about happily, taking things in, enjoying themselves. Suddenly, driving became defensive. Forget the sights and scenery. There was a crazy man over the next hill, and he was drifting into your lane. The other guy. Who was this other guy? I wanted to meet him, but the government built huge, wide interstate highways to keep him at a distance. To trap the other guy, they installed radar and VASCAR, and even claimed to patrol the roads with aircraft, though I never saw a plane swoop down and pull the other guy over. They controlled his on and off axis, and at the end of each exit ramp made everything the same. The places where the other guy ate and slept looked like every other place. The truth is, only on America's vanishing back roads can you still even glimpse the other guy, see the joy or boredom or wanderlust on his passing face. So I've chosen to motor along these back roads leisurely, searching for the other guy, the other town, the other curio or curiosity. I'm going to see the USA in short hops. So watch out for me, because I'll be taking my own sweet time. And if you hit me from behind, it's automatically your fault. I hope you all have a good week ahead, and we'll seek out our next pot of gold story next week. Over and out until the next time we virtually meet.